I'm James Kelleher, amateur radio operator, N7DMO.
I'm Tim Morrow, KG7LRK.
And what we're going to do today is we're going to illustrate the Lurk System. The Lurk System is a system that we have here in Riverton, Wyoming. It has about a 60-mile radius of coverage. And the system is basically consisted of two crossband radios. We have the first radio, we're calling Radio 1, which is a standard C5900, that's the model number. And this radio is strictly an analog transceiver. It's not capable of doing any digital whatsoever, but it is crossband, as you can see, it's illustrated here on this screen. Crossband from 441.670 with tone 173.8 hertz. And now it's crossband over to 147.555, which is a simplex. These are two simplex frequencies. So when we activate this, of course, this is going to become a crossband repeater. And then Radio 2, which is an ICOM, 2820 is the model number. This particular radio will crossband 446.670, no tone, and will crossband to 147.555 simplex. Both frequencies are simplex, so it's a crossband repeater of its own. Now when you combine these two together, you start to develop channels out of the system. And I will illustrate the channels and how they work. But there's A, B, C, and D. There's five, and control channel, which is five channels. And what it'll do is we'll show it here on the screen what how the channels work and which ones are digital and so forth. This radio down here, Radio 2, is an analog and digital capability radio, so it can do both systems there. Okay folks, here we are with the channel set up for this repeater system. I have A, B, C, D control channels on this board, so you can kind of see the illustration of how this works. We're going to start out with channel A. As you can see, the crossband repeat is 147.555. It's a simplex frequency. And that is coming off those two radios that I showed you. So we're going to be going from 446.670, which is the receiver antenna. There are two separate antennas at the repeater site. It will crossband over back into 147.555 to 441.670, which is the transmit frequency, which is also simplex. Now there's no tone required on the 446.670, but there is a tone on the 441.670 173.8 hertz. That's the channel A repeater. That's kind of our first repeater in this combination of five channels. The second is the B channel. The B channel is crossband repeated back over to 147.555 simplex from the 441.670, which is the receiver. Now this is, again, these are the receivers at the repeater site. So the transmitter is transmitting on 446.670. So 441.670 receive, 446.670 transmit for the channel B. There is a tone decoder of 173.8 hertz on this channel. It's FM only. And on the 446.670, it has no tone. Then we end up going to channel C, which is crossbanding back and forth from 446.670 to 147.555. On the 446.670, there's no tone. It's digital or FM, meaning that you can use C4FM, you can use D-Star or P25. DMR will not pass through this repeater system. Channel D. Channel D is good for long distance communications. For example,
if you were going to Du Bois, Wyoming, and you wanted to communicate back to Riverton, you would be on channel C. Your mobile radio would need about 50 watts to get back into the system. The coverage up there is quite good. The terrain favors the 440 side more than the 2-meter side, so I'd recommend that you use channel C because of the terrain is a little bit better. Now it's going to go back to 147.555, so that would be in Riverton. These require no tones, and you can use again digital on both of these frequencies. So that's the channel C and the channel D. Now there's a control channel. Control channel is 441.670, has a tone of 173.8 hertz. Remember to put your tone in there. It's for remote control use. This is kind of the one of the more important frequencies of the whole system to put it together. This channel allows you to go in and change frequencies of the repeater. So you can go in and, for example, on 441.670 and change the VHF frequencies around remotely with a DTMF pad. So if I wanted to go from 146.82, example Du Bois, and I wanted to move it over to maybe Lander 145.445, I would just go in there and use the functions that are set up for the remote base, and you'd be good to go there. Now, one thing about the control channel, there's a lot of instructions on how to make it work properly, and in the future I think we'll try to cover that. Now I would like to also mention that the channel A and channel B are on separate antennas. The channel A, which is the receiver antenna, is on the upper antenna for 446.670. The lower antenna, which is transmit, is on 441.670. So the upper antenna is 446.670, which is the receiver for channel A, and then 441.670 is the transmitter for channel A, which is the lower antenna. Channel B is just the opposite. 441.670 is on the lower antenna, which is a receiver on channel B. The transmitter now on channel B is on 446.670, which would be the upper antenna. Okay, then you have channel C and D. You have 446.670, which is now on the upper antenna, cross-banded over to 147.555 channel D. Both of these are simplex, also going through the upper antenna. So the crossband repeater C and D are coming off the upper antenna. 446.670 again is the upper antenna. 147.555 is the upper. That's why you get the best coverage on channel C for long distance. Good thing to remember. Now the control channel is of course a simplex 441.670, tone of 173.8 hertz. And this is the one used for remote control. This frequency is on the lower antenna. Control channel 441.670 with the 173.8 hertz will always be on the lower antenna, the GP15. This allows remote to 2 meters or 6 meters. Now N7HYF and I both have the functions to the control channel system. So if you would like us to move the frequencies, you can get a hold of either myself or N7HYF, and we can get that set up to whatever channel you'd like to operate off of. Now remember, when using the Echolink, you can only use the A, B, or C channels to get back into the Echolink side of the repeater system. The reason for that is the Echolink radio is coming off a very small antenna and its coverage is very poor. So you need to go into the crossband extenders to get back into the system so they can hear you on the Echolink. So A, B, or C are the ones that you'd want to use for that. Please remember also to identify with your call sign with the channel you are using. This is very important because if you don't do this, a lot of people that come aboard the system will not know what channel you're on. I mean, you have 5 channels that you can go to, and you need to announce what channel you're on. So let's say you come on the air, you would come up and say something like, "This is N7DMO, I'm on channel A." Or if you want to use phonetics, you could say A as an alpha. Or "This is N7DMO, I'm on channel D." Now if you say you're on channel D, that means the other party needs to switch to C, because that's a crossband repeater right there. You're running a crossband repeater. You're not on a 440 repeater system on this combination. So you would have to be on the opposite channel to make it work properly. Now, one other thing too is that when you are working the crossband repeater, let's say Lander, Lander needs to be, all the operators that are using it need to be on the same frequency. For example, 147.555. Let's say they decide to use that frequency. All the Lander stations need to be on there, coordinated to that frequency, and they want to talk back to Riverton. Riverton needs to be on the 446.670, the C channel. The C channel is the crossband repeat. That way, your communications is coming off the repeater tower and hitting back over to Riverton. So those people need to operate on the C, and it can go either way. You could switch it the other direction and have Lander on the C and Riverton on the D. You can decide that for yourself in your communications. But that's pretty much how the system works. The main thing is to identify that you are on a certain channel, to let people know so they can figure out where you're at. Because it's very confusing if you don't. Like, if you end up just coming on the air and transmitting, then they have to try to figure out where you are. And sometimes that takes a little bit of time. Anybody's welcome to use it with an amateur license. This is set up on Griffey Hill, and it's about 300 feet up. We will get into details on Echolink and on how the control channel works on the next video. Another thing too I'd like to mention to you, a lot of people probably would like to know, what does Lurk stand for? Well, the Lurk system was developed on 2 different radios like we talked about, and KG7LRK, myself, put the system together, and N7HYF. He also helped put it together. And with Tim's call sign, we decided, well, let's go ahead and call it the Lurk system because he has LRK on the end of his call sign. So we went ahead and called it the Lurk. And it kind of fits in there, like lurking around and listening to the frequencies. So that's where the Lurk system got its name. Well, I want to say thanks to everybody, and please subscribe to this channel.